Got 3 job offers in 4 months, and I'm going to tell you all the weird things I did to get my application past the bots. Okay, thing number 1 you've probably heard before, but I copy and pasted the job description at the bottom of my resume, changed the font color to white, saved it as a PDF, and applied with that. The reason being is that a lot of these times these application portals are scraping your resume to see how much of a percentage of a match it is to the job description. So if you have the job description pasted in your resume and then you're kind of hiding it with the font color and then having it be a PDF, it works out pretty well. The second thing is before I'd actually even apply, I'd reach out on LinkedIn to strangers, connect with them on LinkedIn, and then after...
Okay. So first of all, the first tactic is something that you're really not going to know. I mean, it sounds good when it's spoken, but there are also a lot of jobs that don't use these scraping tools or even AI yet fully in order to find out if a candidate is a good candidate or not. And as a matter of fact, I would put more importance on how quick you sign up and apply to a job and how long that job has been listed. My old manager told me that when I applied for my old IT role at that company, that there was over 300 applications and they came in quick, and she wasn't, or anybody else nobody was able to sift through all of those applications, let alone go through all of those interviews. And so it was really the top few people who applied as soon as the job was posted. So apply early and apply to the jobs that are showing up early. But hey, she said she got a job doing this method, but it's, I believe timing is way more important.
Connecting with them, send them a message saying, hey, I'm looking at this role on your company's site. I don't know if you have a referral program, but if you could put me in, it'd be a win-win. Third thing,
Okay, so I've heard of this method as well. I actually invested in a course. It was about $500 to $600, and it was guiding us on using LinkedIn to get a career in IT. Shout out to Course Careers. All right. And it was explaining how we should network on LinkedIn, which is important. But one of the first things that you don't want to do when you meet someone new, whether it's in person or online, is ask them for a favor. Like, people are not going to want to do that at all for you. Let's be honest here. If somebody did that to you, you'd feel like somebody is selling to you, or they want something from you, and you'd feel like you're used. You know what I'm saying? No, very rarely are people going to actually do that. So I believe we should engage. If you're going to follow this, engage with what they're uploading on LinkedIn. Show your interest in it. And this is not me just saying this out the blue, right? This skill, which is networking, is used in so many aspects of getting what you want online. I made over 6 figures online just doing a method like this, liking, commenting, and sending people messages on Instagram for years, and people who never even knew me, people who never even knew me would, we would build a connection online on social media, and they would pay me $2,000 to $5,000 for my online fitness programs at the time when I was an online fitness coach and a full-time entrepreneur. So definitely do not just reach out to people and just ask for favors. That's not going to work.
I learned from someone else, but it works really well, is if you've been applying to the same company over and over again, go ahead and create a new email account and apply same resume, same job with your new email to see if that helps push it through. A lot of the times on the back end, like, they can see how many times someone has applied for a role at the company. And I don't know why, but I feel like if they see like hundreds of applications for something, it has less of a chance of going through. And then
that's actually really intelligent. I like that one. I mean, I can see that happening all the time, right? They see in their system that you've applied to multiple jobs, you haven't gotten a job yet, and it's easier to look through and look past you because they can just look at somebody else who they've never even spectated before. That's a really, really good piece of advice. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below.
But not least, this is probably the most unhinged thing that I did, but I limited myself to only apply for 5 to 7 jobs a day when I was actively looking. And I kept track of each and every single one of those jobs in a spreadsheet with a screenshot of the job description, not a link because they removed those, screenshot of the job description, the job number, the job title, and then the resume that I used to apply for the job. For every single application, I did a different resume, again, copy and pasting that job description into the resume, saving it as a PDF.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So she's basically keeping track. She's keeping what's basically like a CRM, which stands for relationship management or something like that. Relationship management system, which basically is like how companies keep track of customers and make sure they get their upsells and bring them down their pipe or up their pipeline to get somebody who's just curious to actually becoming a paid customer. So someone who's like, or a company that's looking for a prospect, and then, making sure that you're following up and following protocols. I like that because she's using a system, and I believe systems stand for saving you some time, energy, and money. So, shout out to her. Shout out to the creator. Her username is at the bottom left hand corner of the screen, by the way.
I hate to admit this to people, but the only reason why we're having issues with finding jobs right now is because these companies want to outsource people in other countries because it takes less money to pay them. Because in their currency, it translates to a lot more money for them. Yeah. That's why whenever you call a company's call center or customer service, it sounds like, people that have strong accents from different countries. Why? In those countries, they can pay them cheaper. Like, let's just say, for example, if you pay them $200 a week in American dollars.
All right. By this point, we get the point. It's called capitalism. Let me be clear. The world is going to keep moving forward no matter what, whether you like it or not. And yes, there are opportunities for companies to hire people and pay cheaper to do your job. And I believe that's always been there. But with technology, it's happening very fast, faster than it did in the past. So when we look at this, you can be on one side. You can be on the side of, I really hate this. I'm going to complain. Or I'm going to grow my skill set to become more valuable in an economy that's forever changing in the United States. The reason why I'm being so blunt tonight is because, man, I'm tired of hearing these excuses. You know what I'm saying? I literally am, of people complaining about capitalism when in the United States, everybody capitalizes off of everybody. You know what I'm saying? You work a 9 to 5, the job that the boss, the CEO, they're capitalizing off of your hard work. Nothing wrong with it. Use it as a tool. You see other companies doing it. How can you? That's what I question. If people are, not everybody, but if people are upset about capitalism and they keep outsourcing, you outsource when you use DoorDash, right? And DoorDash outsources the people who dash. And then the companies that are using DoorDash literally outsource the people who are working in the restaurant. It's a capitalist country. You got to learn how to adapt and become more valuable. This doesn't necessarily mean work harder. It literally means work smarter. Use the system that you have advantage. Use the system that's being used right in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
To them, that's probably more than enough to live
Appreciate
well
the like.
in that country. So, or at least like on a pretty good income where they can be comfortable, or at least pay all their bills with ease.
That word comfort just gives me the ick. Like when I hear comfortable, I'm like, why do people want to be comfortable? Like what's the deal with being comfortable? Comfortable means that you're staying in a spot where you're not growing. Let me be clear. When you work out, you're not comfortable. You're uncomfortable, which means there's going to be growth for your future. Okay? When you're in college and you're taking multiple courses and then you got student loans, yeah, they suck, but you're uncomfortable with the position that you were in before. And so you invested into yourself for a greater opportunity. Uncomfortable does not mean that you're having a bad life. It means that you are changing not only your environment. Well, your environment doesn't even change, actually. It's not just you're changing your trajectory. Bottom line, you're changing your trajectory. At the end of the day, people take comfort as a lifestyle that should be lived. A lot of you not, bruh. A lot of people think that once they make it, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. They don't have to worry about a thing. But one of the things that I've learned through life is new levels, new devils. You hit new levels, you're going to have different levels of problems. One of my mentors said, there's somebody on this earth complaining about the price of eggs and the price of gas. And then there's somebody else on this earth that complains about where they're going to build a garage to put their 15th car. Now, which set of problems would you rather have? We're not escaping anything, man. This is life. This is what builds strength. You don't build strength off of comfort. You build strength off of uncomfort, being uncomfortable.
That's why. How I figured that out? Because when I went to, Saudi Arabia, and when I traveled to my country, Bangladesh, it was so many years ago, the currency, and I'm out here, I'm worried about oh my God, what if I spend so much money? No, literally you can spend $2 and that's 20 Saudi reals to them. So you can purchase a lot of...
Yeah, but I believe we live in one of the most greatest countries in the world. So I'm not going to complain about how things are
1 o'clock.
So much more expensive in the United States. What are we comparing it to? Anyways, Hayden said soon AI will take over the outsourcing. 100%. 100%. I'm telling you right now, this is y'all, I work in tech, right? That doesn't mean that I should be caught up with AI. There's plenty of people in tech who aren't caught up with AI. A lot of people are amazed by how AI can rewrite emails still. The other day, I created an app with AI, and I'm using Google Gemini. And I'm like, how can I find more videos to react to without me having to spend my time flipping through videos, watching the first 5 seconds to see if it's a good video to show to you all and create videos on YouTube with? Because it takes me a long time. Believe it or not, it takes me a longer time finding these videos to show you all than it is for me to actually record. So a lot of the times I'll multitask. I'll go to the gym and do cardio for 20 minutes and then try to find and do my best to find 10 videos. But honestly, every time that I work out, I only find about 10 videos. I create probably around 40 videos a week. And every video usually has 8 clips. So if you do the math, that's over 300 videos a week. I don't have time to find good videos at the rate of 320 videos a week. Anyways, I created an app with AI and it helped me find these videos within seconds. And then I have it running on a timer. Every hour, it's updating me with newer videos I can react to that's relevant to my channel. AI is going to take over. It is going to take over. Because I was thinking about outsourcing someone on Fiverr to do market research on videos that are trending that we can talk about on this channel. I was able to use Google Gemini to do this in 10 minutes. And I'm using it still. It amazes me. It amazes me for sure. But let me know your thoughts on AI and outsourcing and how you use it as a tool or how you don't like it at all. I love it. And it's here to stay. That's what I believe about it.
Nobody else is going to tell you this but me, so lock in. You need to stop telling the truth in your job hunt if you actually want the job, and here's why. These companies and their hiring staff are rude. They're not looking to give you your first shot. They're not looking to hire unemployed people. And I knew this already. I get the game. I work in HR. I studied HR. I've been a resume writer. I'm a career coach. I get people 6-figure remote jobs every single day. And there are specific tactics you need to put in place so that you don't look underqualified, undereducated.
I used Google Gemini. Google Gemini. I barely use GPT now. Google Gemini.
Or unemployed. Why? Because they're kind of like Voldy. They're like a Voldemort. They're mad at the Muggle-borns and the Muggles, but they daddy is a Muggle. They're Muggle-born. They don't have the education. They don't fit the job description. They're not qualified, but they want you to be. Why? It's not fair and they're rude, so play the game. Here's what you're gonna do. Number one, you are going to ignore the dementors. Anybody who is telling you that you don't fit the job description and they can't call you back because of your application and you don't have the skills or the experience or qualifications or the requirements, you don't have the right certifications, you don't have something and you're not enough, you're gonna ignore that person because they're a dementor. They're hating, they're not helping, they're against the people. You have to be for the people over here because what you really need to do is LIE. If somebody is not telling you that you have to LIE to get the JOB, they're not giving you advice.
I was very lost off of why she's advising people to lie about their experience in order to get a job. I think that's gonna slap you in the face because now you got to have a great memory. You know, it's amazing what shortcuts people try to create in order to get something that actually takes skills. And let me explain. It's called networking. I feel like that might be the word of the day for today's show. You know, networking is one of the things that many people can't do because they fear public speaking. They fear meeting new people. They fear the judgment of people. But you gotta make sure you get the reps in. Like I literally after graduating high school, 11 years ago. Yeah, it was 11 years ago. No, it was 10 years ago actually, but I told myself I'm going to break out my shell of talking to people and being able to be a great communicator. And so I started talking to everybody in the grocery store. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? You know what I'm saying? How's the weather? You know, I like your shirt. I like your hair. I'm just talking to people, right? People want to take shortcuts and lie about their job experience in order to get a job. That's not going to help you. That's not going to help you at all. I recently got hired at a new company, right? I work in IT, and one of the reasons why I got the job wasn't because I had the certifications or whatnot. I've had some job experience in IT, but not the role I just got, and all praise to the Most High. But I also knew that networking is one of the things that's going to put me forward in front of a lot of people. People knowing my name, my voice, my face, and my work ethic speaks a lot further than a sheet of paper and also lying. Like, are you kidding me? Hayden said, I use GPT for my appraisal work. It is a great tool. I agree. I hate that it will replace people's jobs, though. Yes, it will replace people's jobs. I believe it's going to open up a lot of opportunities, though, for people who are ready to adapt. Yeah, try Google Gemini for sure. For sure. Google has a whole bunch of apps that we already use. Gmail, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drive, Google Maps. It's all tied in. YouTube. Google owns YouTube. They've already had the infrastructure. Hayden also says, it seems like you need to have your own business now. This way AI is a tool for you and not replacing you. 100%. This is why we have the Profit Live show, literally, because we talk about finances and economics and what people are going through in this country. But the realization is you need more than one stream of income in today's economy. You just do. You just do. And you have to be persistent at it. You have to be consistent at it. And I'm a proving example. I'm showing you all, literally, if you guys watch my older videos, I talk about how I've made money online, my stories about how I've made money online. And I once taught people strictly how to market themselves online. That type of content wasn't working for me. I did it for a year. Whoop-de-woo, cry a sad story, changed up my strategy, and we got this channel monetized. And so now I'm hitting it with a different angle, but it's another stream of income. It's another stream of income. 100%, man. And the greatest thing about it, when you create a business that's automated, is that you don't have to trade your time in order to get money. Yes, you put in time, but you're always getting paid around the clock, no matter what time it is, you know?
That you can actually use. How are you going to go to school in the next 2 seconds to get the job so that you can pay your rent? How are you going to get the education and then get the job if they keep telling you that you don't have the experience so they can't give you the job? That's stupid. That's stupid. Stop doing that. Just lying. Okay, so how do we do that? How do you effectively scheme and scam and deceive on your resumes just so that you're able to get a callback. So you can show and sell and pitch your labor value to a buyer, a customer. You're going to look at the job description that they keep telling you that you don't fit. You're going to make yourself fit it. You're going to change the type.
By the way, a lot of the times when you see a job description, it's HR typing it up and not the people who are actually working in a department. The reason why I know this is because I ask questions during the interview. I do. Even if I didn't get the job, I ask questions. Hey, maybe it's the salesperson in me. When I worked sales for 5 years, I want to know the information so I can improve, for the future. Like I'm always looking, okay, if I didn't get what I actually wanted, um, what can I learn? What can I gain? You know what I'm saying? I need some wisdom. I need to see it from a different angle, And I found out by multiple companies that HR types up these job descriptions, man. They don't know what you actually do. They barely know the terminology. Sometimes they ask people who actually work at the job. Sometimes they're using AI to create the job description. Sometimes they're using other people's experience and then being like, oh, you need this, you need that. Or just communicating with people and they're making it sound way more complicated because guess what? It's called process of elimination. They want you to think on the job description, you need this, that, and the third. But a lot of companies actually value teaching you from ground up how they do things. You become a greater asset when you don't know how to do everything that the job description tells you need to have, because truth is they want to build someone from ground up and train them on the way the business does their business, which means you don't have any defensive walls saying, well, actually, there's a different way to do that. Or actually, I'm used to doing it like this. Like when I heard that, I'm like, oh, so I shouldn't discredit myself because they say it's required for me to have a certification and the company will pay for my certification? Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? They know you're an asset to them. But you got to approach it that way. Lying is not going to, come on, man.
The years and the skills on your resume to match what's on that job description, regardless if you've done it before or not. I say this all the time and people are like, well, how? And I'm like, look at my videos. Resume tips playlist at Andrews Writer Ever. I give people 6-figure remote jobs every single day.
All right, we're not going to go for this. If someone is literally advising you to lie during your interview and they're telling the truth on how they've helped people get 6-figure remote jobs, but they just told you to lie, I don't believe they're trustworthy. I can't be a supporter of that, man. I don't stand for that. I don't stand for that at all. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on this specific topic with what she's communicating.
The job market is terrible, but here's my best advice that I can give somebody who's looking for a job right now. Number one, stay off of these recruiting websites, LinkedIn, Indeed, what's another one, Built-in. You don't want to go to those websites and think that, oh, this is the opportunity for me to find a job. I would say about 80% of those jobs are fake jobs. They're not real.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I've gotten plenty of jobs using Indeed. You got to apply to them early and apply to their websites if you're going to apply to LinkedIn. The reason why, or not LinkedIn, or yes, my fault, y'all. LinkedIn, Indeed, and these other job sites. Reason being is because these jobs are using like these third-party sites like LinkedIn, Indeed, and whatnot, Glassdoor. They're using it, ZipRecruiter. They're using it as third-party sources. So their primary way of seeing who applies is their actual website, but their way to see more opportunity on people who are on other platforms are by using these third-party platforms like ZipRecruiter and Glassdoor and Indeed and LinkedIn. Right. They want to use those platforms because it's like a social media for them. They're fishing in a bigger selection of water. Instead of fishing at a lake, they're fishing in the ocean when they do this. And hence the AI. But again, AI isn't going away. Hayden said, I really feel networking is the key. A cold interview is so suspect. They use the interview to train their staff 100%. When you know people can pull strings. And it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed the job. but it does put you ahead of most people who are applying via Indeed, clicking apply, or LinkedIn, clicking apply, or even lying during the interview. Like, there's no reason to lie if somebody already likes you because they already know you. And they're like, you know what? I'm actually interested to see, why they're interested in this job. Let's go ahead and give this guy a chance, right? It's a skill that many people aren't going to put in the work for because they only want to network when it's to their benefit, right? And don't get me wrong, you applying to a job after networking is something that's a benefit. But remember when I told you one of the things that I did, and I'm so grateful I did at a younger age when I graduated high school, and you can do this in any moment of your life, it doesn't matter your age, by the way, was to purposely talk to people because I was such an introvert. I labeled myself as an introvert. I cared about what people thought. I was shy. I wasn't well spoken. I got nervous, not just speaking in front of the camera, but speaking in front of people. And I had to become a people person. Now people open up to me all the time in public. Why? Because I believe it's energy. I believe it's energy and it's being able to hold a conversation. But most people only want to network when it's their gain. But what about when nobody else is watching and you're just working on improving a skill because you know it's going to improve everything else in your life? Not just a job, but your relationships. Imagine if you were able to communicate like 10 times better than where you're at right now.
They're either jobs that the companies are just posting so they can get their numbers up and say like, hey, we posted this job, we got this many applications for their statistics, or
Yeah, that's actually crazy. I did not know he was going to say that. I told you they're using it to fish in a bigger body of water.
or whatever. I'm not too sure why they're posting fake jobs to steal your information. That's another reason. But yeah, stay off those websites. That should not be your main source to look for jobs. While I'm not saying that you can't get a job from there, what I'm saying is that it's flooded with fake jobs, fake recruiters, companies that just want to get their numbers up. It's not a good source for you to go and apply for jobs and think like, oh, this is where I'm going to get the job. So stay off those sites. Instead, what you want to do is you want to go to actual company sites. If you're applying for Amazon, you want to apply for Amazon on Amazon's career site. You don't want to go to Indeed and apply for Amazon. Go to Amazon's career site and apply for them. Same thing for Home Depot. If you want to apply for Home Depot, go to Home Depot.
It's almost like back in the day when you had to go into the store itself or the place of business itself and ask for an application and they handed you a sheet of paper.
Career site. Don't go to LinkedIn to apply for Home Depot because first off, Home Depot is going to look at their career site before they look at anything else. The next, and this is probably the most important thing, your resume is not a one and all thing. Your resume needs to be tailored.
Yep, it needs to be a custom. And this literally is something that I had to learn the hard way. My girl had to teach me this. She was like, yeah, they're going to look all past this because she was getting trained to become an HR employee a couple months ago. And she was taking a course on it. And I was like, really? But you know what? It works like this in the real world as well. Think about it. All right. For me, in my experience, when I was selling online fitness programs, I'd be on Zoom or I'd be on the phone with people who were interested on social media to lose weight and build muscle. And a lot of the times you would think that you are talking about the same thing every call. Oh, our price is this much. Oh, we can help you get this result in this many months. But it's far from that. You have to listen to what people are saying because what people say all reveals what they want and what their pain is. And then you can tie what they want with what they need, but help them relieve themselves of their pain. And then that creates desire in a person. But everybody's story is different. Just like these jobs, yes, you might be applying for a specific role, but this company might be in a specific transition and you don't know it, but you have to make sure that the job you're applying for is actually not wasting their time looking at your skill set. so I don't put, like when I worked for IT, I didn't put I worked in sales for 5 years. There's no reason for me to put that. Like, I worked IT for 2 years, and I've done all these tasks, and then they bring me in for an interview, and then I talk about IT if they ask me IT. But if they ask me about character, I bring up sales, because sales is a deep game that a lot of people don't want to play because they lack the mental fortitude and the character to do so. And that's okay. It's not meant for everybody, but I'm going to use it to my advantage after I get my foot in the door. You know, they got to look at the interview first and be like, let's see what this guy is talking about.
To each job that you apply to, not just you create one resume and you send the same resume to every single job.
It's almost like pickup lines, like corny pickup lines, like you're approaching a female, right? Or how you approach your wife, right? Imagine you approaching every woman the same way. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't know any cheesy pickup lines because I'm not that type of guy, you know, but I don't say the same stuff to anybody at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go with the flow, and I don't like to keep it like on a script, you know, but that's just me. When it comes down to these jobs, we need to approach it the same way. Like, don't treat it like a script. Oh, this is my resume. They'll read through it. No, their AI is gonna like read it and be like, what are all these other keywords? We're not interested in this.
Not going to work. With AI is already filtering through resumes. So you have to learn how to beat AI. Basically saying that there's a job description, there's qualifications. Your resume needs to have that job description and those qualifications on there. While I did not lie on my resume, I need you guys to understand this. Those qualifications and those job descriptions that you're applying for needs to be on your resume. Same thing with your cover letter. Let your cover letter reflect the job that you're applying for. Now, this is the second most important thing. Effort is going to produce results. Me, I had a goal. I applied to 10 jobs every single day until I landed the career that I have now. Don't believe me? Here's my daily goals. Apply for.
I'm glad he's showing this, man. The proof is in the pudding every time. When I was in search for a job not too long ago, I was telling my girl, I'm like, I'm about to apply to 75 jobs a day. Do you think I know 75 jobs I would like to work? No, but I'm going to find a way to do so much that it's impossible for me to not hear back from someone. I mean, if it's going to be a no, at least it's a reply, right? Instead of just not hearing back at all. On the other note, people don't have the persistency or the consistency in order for them to see the results through. We see it over and over and over again. People complain about the job market. Oh, I applied to 500 jobs. Okay, and what time frame exactly? 500 jobs sounds like a lot until you say it took you a full year, and then 500 literally took you 365 days. That's not even 2 applications a day, statistically. So let's be real here. You probably missed some days. You probably felt discouraged, but this is what separates the people who have and have not. You let your emotions take control of you to dictate, oh man, these are my actions because I don't feel this way. Then guess what? Those who don't let their emotions take control of them are going to always turn out in a better situation at the end of the day. The job market is only terrible for those who try to find shortcuts.
10 jobs. The job market sucks and companies aren't hiring like that. But if you follow these steps, you can use those to get yourself just that extra step above the other candidates. And eventually you're going to find the right job.
All right. So I didn't want to say it, but he kind of contradicted himself. It's like the job market sucks and it kind of sucks that you have to go this far. It just means the bar has been raised. Like, that's it. Higher standards. Don't we all have that?
Mark my words, hiring is going to go quiet in 2026. And what I mean by that is the job boards aren't going to cut it anymore. Applying online isn't going to cut it anymore. You will be, if you follow that process, you will be the last resort candidate for any company that's going through a hiring process. What they're going to do instead, and a lot of them have already started this, but everyone's going to jump on board. What they're going to do instead is they're going to start feeling out their networks. So when they get ready to fill a role, they're going to look and see who do they have internally. That's a given. But then before they even post the role, The hiring teams are going to start putting out feelers of who do we know? Who do we know outside of the organization? Who do we know that can refer candidates to us? Have we worked with any third-party recruiters who might have a bank of candidates that we can leverage? How can we fill this role without posting it online? Because when they post it online, they're going to get overwhelmed and bombarded with people that aren't qualified, aren't interested, don't actually want the job, and they can't cut through all that noise to get to the handful of people who actually are a great match, both financially, skills, and even culture. They're cutting through all the noise. Hiring will go quiet in 2026.
This is really interesting. I've never heard a point like this, and I see it happening. I definitely see it happening. There's this company that I saw hiring some people, not a lot, but some people. And I was looking, I was like, man, this role isn't online at all. Like I can research the company and I'm like, why isn't it online? Why haven't they announced it? Aren't they trying to fill the role? And they created a new role. And I'm like, man, this is an internal thing. Like they rather find people that they know and have already interacted with versus finding people online. So I do think part of what he's saying is definitely true. Hayden says you have to have the ability to pivot. You may be gone to college for a certain career. However, over 4 years, your job may be gone or not financially appropriate to your lifestyle. 100%. We covered a video a couple of days ago, Hayden, where we were talking about college and how it takes 4 years to graduate. Cool. But in certain departments, specifically technology as well, or computer science, the technology is growing so fast. Imagine like 4 years ago, 4 years ago, what, GPT came out? I don't know what year GPT came out. I think it was like 2020, 2021. We're in 2026 now. 4 years ago. 4 years ago. So if you think about it, the people who went into college in 2020 got a curriculum and then they were told to take a certain amount of classes and they graduated 2024, they didn't learn AI. Now they're stepping into a world where, and this is partial of my computer science timeline in college. We didn't learn anything about AI, but as soon as COVID happened and the world shut down, and I got back and I started working and I started doing classes remotely. I'm like, GPT, what is this? Wait a minute, it can code now? You know how long it took me to understand code in the different languages, and now it's teaching me in seconds? Yeah. Technology is moving, the world is moving faster than 4 years of college. El Cool J, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the live, man. Welcome in. El Cool J says that's standard procedure. They aren't trying to have an outsider unless they have to. They've been doing this for decades. I can see why. And we move like this as humans, right? Because you have trust, right? Or you feel like you know somebody. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to find out that a stranger isn't fit for the job or not, or they are, if they are fit for the job, it's just it causes more stress at the end of the day. Which is why I say networking. You know what I'm saying? We've all been agreeing. Networking is literally what helps you get your foot in the door and what helps people say, you know what? Let's give this guy a shot. They pull some strings. All right. So that is the first topic of tonight. The job market isn't terrible. It's only terrible for those who are trying to cut corners and don't want to network and adjust to what's going to help them be ahead of most people. All right. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you like the content. Let's get it.